Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
World migration has been going on for centuries, and the main reason why people migrate is no big mystery. They do it for the same reason they did hundreds or even thousands of years ago, to improve their lives. But what has changed is who is migrating, where they're coming from, and the numbers involved. Imagine 200 million people, 2/3 the population of the United States in transit. Imagine the age of migration, a time when more people are on the move than ever before. In today's globalized world, the incentive to migrate is stronger than ever, and with advances in transportation and communication, migration is easier than ever.
Really poor people can't migrate because they don't have the money to migrate. It takes capital to migrate, and now with the growth of capital in these countries, more people are able to move to another country if they want to. So that things that were difficult in the past, for example, they can now fly into Miami on a tourist visa and overstay their visa, whereas before they couldn't afford the plane flight.
Or they can pay a coyote $5,000 to cross the deserts of the American Southwest, or pay someone to take them on a boat from Haiti or Cuba. What kind of America do they find, compared with the country found by immigrants 100 years ago?
The subjective distance between, let us say, Anglo-Americans of 1830 and Irish Catholics was at least as great as between, let's say, the mainstream Americans today and Latinos coming in from Central America or Mexico, or West Indians coming in.
But immigrants of today also come into a post-civil rights America, a multicultural America, and a place where ethnic background and diversity are both celebrated.
They actually come into a much more tolerant America in terms of racial and ethnic matters, where it's in public discourse, people are more careful. They don't, presidents and important people are condemned for ethnic slurs and racial slurs, which was not true 100 years ago. Italian and Yiddish were forbidden in the schools, even in the playgrounds. You had to learn to be American by forgetting your parents' culture or your culture. That's not true anymore today.
Even so, first-generation immigrants still face discrimination and are held back by quotas and other legal impediments, so they still find it difficult to advance.
Of course, in the first generation, you don't have a lot of movement. It takes time for people to accumulate education, to accumulate wealth. But it has been the case that in the second and third generation, this is true among even immigrant groups who are not coming into high-tech firms, but among sort of farm workers, Latinos and Asian alike, that in second and third and fourth generations, you see massive improvement.
The sons and daughters of those who immigrated in the 1980s are now professionals, business people, and civic leaders. They have become the new face of the American immigrant, and they call us to remember history.
We need to think about how this country was put together by our forefathers who came here, many of them legally, some of them illegally, and made a life for themselves and a life for their communities and for our country. And we can't stop being a welcoming nation. If we turn around and try and build a Berlin Wall on each side of our country, our character will change, our role in the world will change, and our ability to lead the global economy will shrink.
The way forward is a journey of the heart. Who is the alien? The undocumented person who jumps the fence, or the one who's become so disconnected from the American story that he or she no longer sees themselves in the eyes of the stranger?